I've read a lot of tabloids, and the expectation for the season we are getting in. Now, I think, first of all, for leagues like the French League the discussion will be limited to teams beating say Paris Saint-Germain and Olympique Marseille. And remember, I always say, maybe they me say, the likes of Paris Saint-Germain a favorite to win the French League fancy, and by fluke, and by assumptions alone. By how much prove yourself in recent years about how competitive they can be when it comes to the kind of results we producing the French League
Yes.
Most of the time, Paris Saint-Germain, league in fancy. The 25th week, the 26th week, now the French League
Yes.
But I think this is a season dear. And I'm your favorite say Omobeji League in there, but Olympique Marseille be more a proper competition. Oh yes. Monaco so be more a proper competition. The reason why I'm talking about Monaco and Olympique Marseille are two things. Fancy, last season Olympique Marseille no more very good away record. But e will feel no more fan pa. Omutimi bought a lot of away games last season, winning about 70 to 75% of the away games. And Omutimi put in those particular results. It will fear. Me 2 years second league name we see City Korea na Paris Saint-Germain fan fala. And I think they've also beefed up their team because the likes of Mason Greenwood mudi go se brewomo. Adrian Rabiot has enough experience. But Omo Real market ni makofa players bi say Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang modi omoba. What gives them an extra edge when it comes to finishing up top? It is experience coupled with the young talents within the team. Omunya results the moment. I think one of the problem Omunya epane as a dino nai. Sukunya injury situation be. I want him most part of the season. Now he will return fresh. Get into this team and make sure some results no most abet miaka. Then there's Monaco. Makofa Ansu Fati. A fit Ansu Fati obetimenya consistent games can complement players with Minamino. Results. Let's not also forget to say if Paul Pogba is fit, they are going to have a double pivot of Paul Pogba and Kamara. Physically dominant midfielders in the middle of the pack. I'm going to make critique enough for them. It Monaco so last season is almost good kakra, but also big problem here said they were not consistent. But fancy, I think say this season Ankasano, say Monaco any the players in fit, Olympique Marseille and the players in fit, no more consistent. They will give Paris Saint-Germain a challenge. That is not to say Paris Saint-Germain doesn't remain my favorite for the French League. But I actually believe the competitive level of the league, it was a Wontumi Peja. A Muba Peja, na nkoye dull na nkoye boring. That means it was a Monaco. Any a team beat is Olympique Marseille. In the Spanish La Liga. Now we are talking about a 3-horse race, not necessarily a 2-horse race this time around. The reason why I'm talking about a 3-horse race in Nigeria, Atletico Madrid kind of investment on my year within their team this season. Going into it. And the Villarreal Real Oviedo mo. We are better to so other games in the continue. Barcelona and Bobo Mayoka will come and do a proper preview of these games. But fancy to whet your appetite going into the league. I think this is the season. Ansha Obi real league in tem. Despite my favorite being FC Barcelona, last season Obi real league in tem. San ebe this season be. Menya sure see ebe league na real na be a Barcelona 3 league in be about 20 points. No, 18 points and Barcelona G League in February. They remain the favorite, but I actually believe that teams like Atletico Madrid and Real Madrid will continue to push FC Barcelona. For Bilbao, I think say omu team no omu lack 1 or 2 dynamics be, and they are not consistent in getting results season after season. But this time around, no, you look at Atletico Madrid now, it looks like tactically they are shifting from what you used to know about them.
Okay.
And you look at a team like Real Madrid, a new coach, a new system. I think this is the season Real Madrid is also going to be about team performance, not necessarily about individual performances of the team. Say bia you be season visions na the team na to the con there be. I think this one particular season Real Madrid will be playing like a quality team together.
Okay.
I want to push the likes of FC Barcelona. But fancy, Barcelona still remains the favorite in this particular discussion we are making. But I also believe that it's also going to be the league of the number 9s. Fancy, the reason why I'm saying it's going to be the league of the number 9s in Atletico Madrid. Julian Alvarez, Alexander Sørloth. You read the number of goals that Sørloth shared last season. Share the number of goals that Julian Alvarez shared last season. Then you come to FC Barcelona. The number of goals Rafinha. Any the likes of Yama Moshe, you know. Nani na Babejina Papa Bakonaso in the shape of Rebel Lewandowski. It's another story about Lewandowski. Say, Washansia, all your training in and a good news the man FC Barcelona. Because if you want to win the league, you need your number 9 to be on top of his game.
Yeah.
And on your bit, say, Kylian Mbappe on the ball, I Real Madrid last season. You really no national goals. Even I know what can say European golden boot no on a title near day. Ekutamo. So the battle of the number 9s no only need their team to complement the numbers they give, and the trophy will be theirs. It's Barcelona and Lewandowski, but they brought Barcelona pani and say, "Omunya team ni bi amoma Canadian numbers ni bi here dey." Eka Ferran Torres, Rafinha, where the number of goals are these guys share. Femi Lopez from the bench, but for Real Madrid, Anya Vinicius ne Kylian Mbappe. Ebi anawa the other na wow player Valverde. Puma shot back be featured. Net. Jude Bellingham did not add more goals like 2 previous seasons, or the goals with Real Madrid.
Because Ancelotti is a son.
Ancelotti is a son in row, no. So this time around, no, if your number 9s are playing and they are scoring, you need your team to complement them. Set everyone the perfect balance to get results. At the end of the day, not team now you're overly reliant on one person at the end of the day. No one team league, no. But to say it, Barcelona remains my favorite. I think the top scorer will still be between Kylian Mbappe and Robert Lewandowski. The top scorer for the league, you know. The third force of Abishim, you know, but Julian Alvarez. But I think these two are really going to step up. But the young player of the year, I'm looking for, said this is another Gula will set a perfect example within the setup of Real Madrid. And give them the results of Muya. Because he looks like Obia or more trusting ye pa. Say Obetimi push it forward. Now what team is. But I'm also looking for a big season for a player like Balde. Last season, one said there consistent games for Barcelona. But I think he comes in this season looking fresh. And I expect him to be consistent. Yama Barcelona, no Musetimi Akomo results also Musetimika. Interesting times ahead for us as we are coming to start the Spanish La Liga. Now in the English Premier League, and I'm assuming to me say about 4-horse race. I still remain my favorite Manchester City to win the league. But me to me is about 4-horse race. 4-horse race near wine. Ebejina Chelsea, Ebejina Arsenal, Ebejina Liverpool. Nejina Manchester City. Almost phone in the Beijing almost. But fancy, Obi excited about it due to Sanyoma we are Mebubodino. Say 4-horse racer, and yet to say the Liverpool last season league no more running away with it at a point in time. I think this is another league it will go down to the wire again. And yet to say last season. And I think it will be very close. Arsenal, Adia no Muhia Panobia, the Tabo Man, Obia, the Diomatem, the Bia Day in the Artinas Muhia center forward. And then Omako, a German soccer for Vito Gyökeres the neighbor. Now, how many goals do you expect Vito Gyökeres to score? You have strikers in the aspect so. But I think they are also trying to fix certain missing pieces within their setup, at least to help push them. Attack will win you games, defense will win you titles.
Yes.
I think when you look at the Premier League quietly, Arsenal and their defense are strong enough to compete because of Mosquera, or Gabriel Magalhaes, or William Saliba, or Ben White, or Ricardo Calafiori. Most of these guys have experience and the quality to give you the results that you want, especially from your defense. In the midfield, Wakakofa Zubimendi Dinaba, quality deep line playmaker. To me say Onyani Dea or a deadly line breaking passes, assisting from the middle of the park and arriving late in the box for shot. There is also still Declan Rice in this particular setup. So I think Arsenal team know as a whole, and what they're meant to be part of the 4 teams are or moving making league very competitive and keep it close. Mikel Arteta wakofa new set piece bi di aba na no heba ku bia no guard ko hye omu nyina begu say na no guard nko ate no ho ne aboba ko panyan. They will try and move with that particular dark arts in such instances. Number 2, over a team like Liverpool. I think Liverpool last season and this season expectation in Mube Peja fancy. You can't win the league and expect expectations to drop. Debida. The moment you were able to win the league without any major signing. Obeka se Federico Chiesa, me Federico Chiesa so a major signing.
No, send the Obianim.
What you say?
Na Chiesa o free
Diaba. And Obia Kra na nyo say Chiesa Kra so be Liverpool aba start here Luis Diaz mo ne Cody Gakpo. But this season Liverpool are making significant signings. Wakofa Florian Wirtz the number. Wakofa Hugo Ekitike the night the number. Now you look at the kind of signings that Liverpool into their setup. Milos Kekes, Jeremy Frimpong. Yan fancy a team say o check the Premier League last season and say you top 3 left backs are Milos Kekes count. Yan fancy a team say in the Germany Bundesliga say you top 3 right backs are Jeremy Frimpong count. Yan fancy a team say you top 3 attacking midfielders in the Bundesliga Florian Wirtz count.
Yes.
And I was also you top 5 center forwards in the Bundesliga last season. Hugo Ekitike count. So Liverpool have not only gone into the market to bring in quantity.
4 major
league quality players no to complement Omo last season. So expectations and drop it to say the last season no be and she then Liverpool. No, this season no be our expectations say Liverpool. I don't know the last season no be atra. No more set me aka results be. And what the be also to send any so Liverpool points are more accumulating the last season. It was not better to some seasons or more also second. Fancy no Manchester City ni Arsenal in Nigeria no so. Some seasons no more accumulating e be 92 points, e be 93 points. Fancy ni no more team afanye league no. So this time around, no, Obiara say Liverpool are not only going to perform and get results, but Liverpool will be able to reach the 90-point mark in order to win the league. Because this season, league is much more competitive than last season. Because Obiara will Liverpool. Obiara question is a and there is one thing that makes it quite difficult for Obiara to defend the Premier League title. Fancy, I always say this: once someone in the Premier League, winning back-to-back titles is very difficult. It's not Obiara Alex Ferguson and Basso say a bad adaptation or a solid. Now Obiara Jose Mourinho and Basso say a bad adaptation or a solid because they know when to set back, they know when to attack, and they know when to keep possession, and they know the seasons they are supposed to scramble for wins, and they know when to pick during the season. Fancy Premier League now, ya bono Ferguson not or type picking from December hodeko because you say a holiday. Obi play a call AFCON. Obi play a pra, Obi play a say a ho no picking or the Argentine league. Pep Guardiola baby, a drew maybe a car February January ho kono to me winning 15 games the twice no be anti no not the Babaji league. Liverpool so be last season abro mo share league na say omo share matches bebre. E ko wi ase na bia na echire omo draw elusu bi no na still na league no mo ye dey. Arsenal is trying to find the perfect balance between the two and try and get their results. But I think for Liverpool, this season will be much more important due to the fact that they've spent a lot of money in the market and expectations will definitely raise for them so multimedia more results. Meshe Hawa and Slot ebe adapt because Premier League is an unforgivable league. And fancy coaches ni suade. So munya wunu say weak point da ha on be boho de bia. They will hate there. That's how the Premier League was. It also say won sa no. Ebi to Pep Guardiola. Obekaya edru maybe no possess ball the following season oba no say there be masesa mensa no. Me be both four back no me center back no be moving into the defensive midfield role with Rodri. No asesa mensa no. Edru maybe no asesa bibi fufro. Sa just to make sure say he keeps up the pace when it comes to the Premier League. So it's interesting to see say Liverpool will be in a competitive mix, and I still remain say Liverpool. I am a favorite to be the second on the league log.
Wow.
Going into this particular season when it comes to the Premier League. Fancy Chelsea, a fox in the box in this particular discussion we are making about who is going to be really competitive when it comes to the Premier League. Chelsea are outsiders in this particular discussion we are making. But fancy the reason why I am slot focus on say we are world champion. The moment you become a world champion, England shall world nase. England almost a world nase. The moment you become the world champion, and you don't only become the world champion for becoming world champion's sake. Fancy, share the best club in Europe in the shape of Paris Saint-Germain. And and I didn't Air Club World Cup. No. So if you call yourself world champion, you should be ready for any expectation about that. Also, fancy Chelsea supporters, our expectations part this season. So league and also Wontumi. A more huge expectations. So the league no Wontumi due to two reasons. One, they believe that they have a proper attack that can give them goals and help them compete. Number two, Omo believe say area some team be and one more decide so no more which is true. Which is true. And Chelsea supporter be deserve say obenya hope. Say fancy omo betimi e dia bobo modern a compete the league no. But baby omo so make omo say omo manage omo expectations near say playing one knockout game and now knockout games. And it's over 38 Premier League matches. And the Champions League account a totally different ball game altogether. For example, last season Chelsea started on a very good note to Bekai.
Yeah.
So 38 league games, injuries will mebwa, bad form will mebwa, and there are few teams that have been able to push to get a certain level of consistency when it comes to the Premier League. Fancy,
yes.
City mo any Liverpool Muji League no more previous chances or person G League na. And you can say lose more than 3 matches.
Yeah, because Omono only loses 3 matches, no.
Assembly no.
And it's almost one in the
that is the standard of the Premier League.
Then it
now.
means also lose fewer.
I also lose fewer. So if you want to win the league, Faton wants to say league in one lose I say 3 matches video day.
Yeah.
Ulusi. Over draw be so I so be it's even say in 38 games, you know, at least Fancy. Premier League record by Manchester City, the likes of Liverpool, you know, even Arsenal in second place. At least I was 25 games to 28 games also to mission in. I'm talking about the competitive nature of the Premier League currently in this era. That is how you are supposed to play it. It may be something who a lot of questions. He say Chelsea bet me about league season when you abroad and lose not less than 3 matches. Be honest with yourself. What am I say? Liverpool bet me about league way without losing not less than 3 matches. Yes, or my be damn you. Huh? City bet me about league way without losing less than 3 matches. Yes, or my be damn you. So these are the teams you are going to compete with. And I think match after match, week after week, to be about Tuesday, Wednesday, Sunday, maybe about Barcelona, be about Wednesday, be Sunday, Man City. How to balance the squad and get the right things out of them is very important in this aspect. Chelsea, among these particular 4 clubs, you know, they have an outside chance. But I'm not saying I'm completely ruling them out. What did they mention as every single team I'm about in have a chance to win it. But Manchester City remains the favorite due to the fact that one experienced coach encore 2 seasons without winning the league. Encore 2 seasons without winning the league. And the Premier League is very difficult to defend it back to back, especially from Liverpool's part. Makacho said in recent times, meaning say new coaches be about your coaches be omutim beji no mo first season, second season. But I want say coaches be na aba league no mo first season, no mo beji league. They follow. There are few of them. One pen abit makana say Jose Mourinho. Oba no beji league 2004, 2005, 2005, 2006 no sato so fancy. Ana meboa. Aside on the buy no Antonio Conte baby we the first season and go ye no be akope baby atena. So it's left for Liverpool and Ancelotti to prove different points when it comes to these discussions we are making. Then there's Arsenal. Me di to me say Mikel Arteta so one league in this season Arsenal from Pamono.
Whoa.
Oh yes.
But meaning say unya bosswa most of Arsenal fans no I know unya dream because some fools say as a baby a Wenger Jan ho Unai Emery mo Jan ho baby an Arsenal ewo Arteta ban wa picking up the pieces na.
The person me buso obokwa shi bi o. E dey ntina mo mugina so mo mpamo ase Wenger
dey no.
Anaso mo ne mpapem we anya pamokra mo ne mpa.
Dear
pa na ma Arsenal supporters e do maybe no more lose some position to as Wenger. They should tell us. Because say fancy they were tired of 4th position. They were tired of 3rd position. They were tired of DBI and Timianje near FC. And no more side in near FC. They felt they said they were accepting mediocrity and they needed to move on to different levels.
Yeah.
Meboa.
Jonas Senior, generous na Nneoma bad.
Na nneoma bad for
Arsenal.
For Arsenal.
Wenger
no. Ana me say eduru mrebi ne dia na mo ka kire ase Wenger. Mo se ono bo na wo bo na efe. Ba ye be wie no na Arsenal ntimi nyi league no. That's why I say Oji league after 2004 Arsenal league.
No.
Eh? Arsenal nyi league.
To feel say Oma patient enough with Arteta
for 6 years.
Na Juna Emery the next any Oma mfino crowd.
Fancy, chere me a top 4 club or 6 traditional clubs say what the EP anymore. Coach be this 6 years without winning the Premier League. Ni amane da so te wo. Chere me. No, you tell me. So you want to rock shoulders with the top guys? And I'm Arsenal calls themselves a big club, which is true when it comes to the Premier League in terms of history. Fancy 14 Premier League titles. Sometimes when I'm here Arsenal for supporters, say, it is different when Senka Mikel Arteta was the start of the project. Fancy, we can have a different discussion by saying, say, the fact still remains. Say Arsenal at the 14 Premier League titles, so we a top 4 club in the Premier League. But the reality is, every Omunyan stage also Wontumi league, you know. Okay. But for 6 seasons, and how close are Arsenal are coming to the title? And Fancy, for spending not less than £1 billion, or say the city here, one liga, so. For what reason? Which manager in this world you know? For 6 years, not less than £1 billion is winning league, you know. Fancy. We are not going to accept any mediocrity from Arsenal fans this season. Your team must win the league. Hey, they are equally good.
You must.
Yes, and you're equally good.
I say Liverpool,
No. New, baby.
Liverpool say Liverpool is favorite to win. But Man City.
Yes.
Sorry. Man City any favorite. I'm not Liverpool 2-2. And I'll say 3.
Arsenal money that one.
Any Chelsea.
But
sir, apart from City, no, there are 3 now kind of out.
It doesn't mean they have 0 chances.
It means Arsenal also a chance.
But I don't know, do be 2 ahead of Arsenal.
Also, they're pecking on that. Only know to mean that.
Chelsea will be a hard in Subi.
And not from Chelsea to mean it.
And also Chelsea to mean.
And you do that bottom correct me.
I said no.
Liverpool budget, but Man City, sorry, Man City budget, but after 6 seasons.
Season's 9 day.
What is out there?